now a week has passed. Agriline have sent me out some replacement bits. Luckily they sent me 2 of these piston assemblies out. One of them, however, was very damaged, so luckily they sent 2, and the second one is serviceable, so that's good. They didn't question the damage, just asked for a couple of pictures and an explanation of whether I thought it was done in transit by the courier or whether it was done in the manufacturing stockist process, which it was. Nothing to do with the courier at all. And they've sent me out a new valve chamber body. I have done a check, and at the moment the new piston fits in the valve chamber body. So what we'll do now, when we take these out, we'll make sure they fit in here and that one fits in this one to make sure there's no more damage. But as you can see from the bag, when the valve chamber is in that way, there's actually holes where it's been dropped and it's actually caused damage to the plastic bag that it comes in. And that was how it was in the box, and the boxes were squashed inside the Agriline box, so take from that what you will. But yeah, the other bits are going back to them to be looked at, because as I've said to them, there's clearly a problem with their manufacturing process, the supplier, and how stuff is, you know, got to them and what happens when it gets to them, to see where the problem is. So we got to take the pump to bits again. So we learned from last time that what we need to make sure is that we have the 2 pistons closest together, as we can see here how it's been machined, one side near the edge of the casting and the other. Now we can drop these back in and hopefully get this pump back together today and get it on.
My shit's not.
Well, my crap's crap, but that's got to come off there. That's got to come out with air, because that turns a twiddly thing, which is very technical for Rupert. And now I've lost it. But that is meant to turn that. And that is driven by the oscillation of the pump. That keeps the control valve turning a little bit to stop it sticking, apparently. And the new control valve that we have doesn't have that in it, so we're going to swap the bits over, aren't we, Roo? He's nodding, he's nodding. He's got a little yellow and red car. Honk honk! Anyway, yeah, as you were saying about YouTube and it taking up all your time.
Yeah.
Monkey.
It's just, sometimes, you know, you haven't got time to do all the things that you want to do on it, but you make time somehow. But
See? Easy. I don't know what you people are afraid of. In fact, it doesn't fit. But it does. Happy days. Put the clip back in. Always put your thumb over it so you don't lose it. Does the clip fit in to the hole? Not as well as I'd like. In a minute. What's it doing, Roo? Stop playing with me.
I always find it when it's on, when you're on camera.
It never goes right, does it?
Never goes right. Yeah, you turn the camera off, it goes straight on.
What, like that, you mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
That's in. Nice. So that should spin without coming out. It'll probably come out. That's smooth. Right, let's change this over. So we're going to bin off the split pin. We don't like them, do we? They're effort, aren't they, Boo? Hey? Look at this fiddling about now just to straighten it again. Yeah, that was my pristine, clean working surface. Hey, it rhymed that, didn't it? Pristine, clean.
You're a poet, you didn't know it.
I know. Because I'm good in the hood. Until the wind blows and then knocks everything over. You know what's going to happen, Roo?
Yeah, man.
Come on.
Yeah.
That can go on anyway. It will go on anyway. Oh, no way. So that actually falls through, so what you need to do, you put that thing in there, Roo.
Bit like a slide on the carburetor, it's like
It is, but I think we're going to have to get a screwdriver in there now to hold that in place. You slurping. You wouldn't believe that didn't fit, would you? What was that? We have to take that out again, won't we? Oh my gosh. I don't know how big the thing's on the end. So what might do it? A welding rod.
okay.
Oh, I got one. I got. I was going to say I got a prick then, but they're a bit big. Oh dear, dear, dear. Right. We'll just take that out and then put that on first and learn a valuable lesson.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Mum. Lose this clip now. Don't be saying that, you'll jinx it. Try the other one, well easy. Right, we're coming out. So we'll take that out. We'll now use the punch to hold that in place. And then put the spring on. Then we'll put that on. And put the R-clip in. Catch it, catch it. The magical hand of the monkey. Like that. And then we put that back in. So if you have to change that, change it before you put that in. Top tip of the day. See, you wouldn't have known that if you never come, would you?
Every day's a school day.
I know, yeah. Shh, don't tell the teacher. Don't tell the teacher. Come on, get in. I reckon they've got special tools for these. Like proper micro pliers, which I don't have. When it pings out.
It does, I'll see, I'll see where it's going. Don't worry.
We're in. I think. We're in.
Yay. So have you got an idea where your first show is going to be with the tractor when it's done, or?
Oh, where?
What's your first activity with it?
Tread forks.
Oh, right.
And then we'll take them back to the galvanisers next week to sort them out.
On it?
No, not on it. We'll just put the forks on and try and move and stuff and see what they're like.
Oh, right.
And then we'll take it back to Roughton and we'll speak to Alison, who's the company owner, and ask her if she's going to be happy with that as a finish if it's going to her.
Right.
Because Phil, who's in charge of the yard there, thinks it's acceptable.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't, but he does.
No clue.
No. But we'll give him a chance. You know, you can only be fair and give him a chance. You're right, I really seem to be getting a bit excited. Is that all that lubrication again? Right, I have no idea now which way, but I'm guessing because there's wear on that, it went that way up and rubbed against the fork. So it'll be interesting to see if that's any better. Oh, it's rough, that. Oh, what have you been doing to that, Roo? You've been roughing it up again.
You've been around here, so I'll have to chew on something.
Hey? What's that? You're about, man. Whoa. You love it. How's midget porn going anyway?
Nice.
Is it? Is it lucrative? Ow! Is it lucrative? You're not shy about your midget porn, are you?
No.
Funding your hobbies and all that. What's your OnlyFans link? The Hairy Monkey. Is that your show name, The Hairy Monkey? So if you go on OnlyFans, people, it's The Hairy Monkey. He loves it, he does. He's lost me hand cloth as well. He's been polishing something. We've been polishing for that. Where's it come? It's in here. Is it? No, yep. Feels like lead, that does. Feels like lead. Obviously it's not, I don't think. Might be. Cleans up easy. Would you like me to edit that bit out? He's nodding, he wants it edited out. That ain't happening now. I do apologise to any of my viewers if they're getting upset. Monkey made me do it. Didn't you?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Mum.
Yeah, man.
So how much do you make out of this midget porn every week then? I'll ask Shires there, tell me.
You'd be surprised, you know. You'd be surprised. It's yeah.
The show sponsor.
Yeah, no.
I see a lot of your videos have got AMF in them.
Yeah.
Is that a magical midget fund or something?
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. It's just a made-up company, and that's what.
It's a made-up company.
Yeah.
Is it? Ooh, that's a bit rough there. All this polishing on camera. Get out nice and thin. Is it all turned on? No. Are we recording actually? Well, we're recording, but we've got no volume. Because I haven't turned my thing on. Have I? Yep, I haven't turned it on. I don't know. I don't think it's on. I don't think it's on. I don't think I'm recording any audio. Turn the camera on and not that. You're saved! So I'll do a voiceover afterwards.
So is it off? Is it off? Is it?
The audio's off. Just like that. Half the time it's just easier to leave it running and edit the shite out.
Oh no, that's the trouble.
Feel how warm that's got. Bit of friction burn. I think we're in. I'm not actually sure though what actually holds it in. Do not come right through. I don't know actually what is meant to keep that pushed into there. There's nothing to stop it coming out.
Mm.
You must just rely on it being like wedged in like that. Anyway, maybe. We've got anything, we forgot anything.
Yeah.
What have we forgot? What we forgot? What? That airy monkey said people won't believe that it works unless I show you. So along those pliers, because I haven't got the PTO shaft. The monkey's telling me it's a nice smooth action that's required. Nice turn. Monkey's turned red. I'm going to install a new pump, and as we can see, that up in there, it's definitely hitting. On the side here, it's touching. On the side there, it's touching. And it needs to go back probably a quarter of an inch, which it can't do. Yeah, other side's the same. Oh dear. Is that what we're saying we put? Oh dear.
Poo.
Poo! That's a better description. So we're going to drop this back out, take some measurements off the original pump and see what's in a different place, because something clearly is. Okay, so the pump doesn't fit. A couple of things you noticed are, this is the first one, from that measurement to there is 27.2. If we get an original valve chest out, oh, it's leaking oil, and we measure the original is at least, a bit hard to measure, let's get it here. The original one is 25.6, so that's a good 1.5 mil extra. And which one was it? That wasn't the one that was on, that was on the other pump, but this is the one that was on the pump that came out the tractor. and even with the gasket that's 25.8, so that's quite a bit wider. And the other thing that I have noticed is on this pump, even though it's 1.5 mil narrower here and here, there's actually a big fillet been machined on there to go around the bolt holes that are cast into the back end of the tractor. So that only leaves us now with one option, and that is to actually grind all this down to make it so that the bolt holes will pass. And if we look at the same on the front's not too bad. The front's got quite a square edge because it's got these gussets in, that's fine. You can see there's a lot more material there than there is here, and the thickness there, I'll do that one, is 17.2, and the thickness on the original is 14.6 pretty much. So there's a massive difference there as well, which means them bolts go in there at approximately 1/8 of an inch less. But what we now need to do is take these off again, cover up inside and the back edge and that, and wrap them in cling film, grind a load off of this edge, and then put it back in and hope it goes. Because once I can get it in and get it to twist so that this bit clears the cover, we'll be okay. So this bit here needs to clear the casting for the PTO, and you can see there where it's actually been hitting. So we need clearance here to let us twist back. So that's what we're going to do next. Once again, Agriline, thank you for your quality products that just do not fit. And if other people have had any experience with other companies that supply the same sort of parts, if you can let us know in the comments whether you've had these issues or whether this is just like, I'm beginning to think maybe Agriline just buy seconds, maybe, or they have parts made cheaper because there's not as much quality control. But I would far rather know of a decent supplier where I can buy it, bolt it on and it fits, even if it costs me a bit more money. So if you can let us know in the comments. Thank you. Yeah, this is what I was going to show you. So that is 10.44, 10.45, that's good. Square edge, 16.2. God knows what that's meant to be. 17. Ooh. Yeah, 17.6. So we can see that casting there's flat. That one there's got this T-piece in it. And to try and have any chance of getting it in, what I've had to do is get the flap wheel on the grinder and take material off of here and here. And what I've done also is just clean up this face here and this face here because it is very tight on the casing of the tractor, and hopefully that will give me enough wiggle room to get it in. So we'll try and fit it again. Now, I have spoken to Agriline about the problems I'm encountering, and they've said that if I send the bits back, the chances are the ones that they will replace them with are going to be the same quality. In other words, they won't fit, or they'll be damaged and won't fit. So yeah, I'm going to have a conversation with them. I will show them what I've had to do to the pump here and here, or the valve chamber I should say, to actually get it to fit, and I'll show them the difference in thickness between this valve chamber and the original valve chamber, so they can appreciate the problems I've had and see what they say about that. So it'll be interesting to see what Agriline say about this. And like I said before, if anybody knows of any other suppliers that supply better quality parts that you don't have this problem with, let me know in the comments. The pump now fits. The material that I took off has let the pump now go in, which is brilliant news. And I have put the control fork on to the control valve. Not too sure how well you can see down in there, but the easiest way I found to do it was to put the light up through where the drain hole is, the drain bung, get one side of the fork on, so I got the far side on, and then I worked from the PTO lever side because it's easier to get your hand in. And what I did was put a bit of rope around here and put it down a bit as far as I could, down in there, and then pulled the rope out this way. And what I was able to do then was get my hand up in here and just gently hold the control valve in place and release the fork back onto it. So now what I've got to do is put the bridge in. I'll do that off camera because you can't really see and film. There's just not enough space. What else we done? Yeah, the pressure relief valve, we wound it in half a turn. I believe it's pilot operated, and they all come from the factory at 2050 psi, so I've wound it in half a turn. I will put a pressure gauge on the tractor and see what it's blowing off at, and if need be, what we will do is get the pressure relief valve out and wind it in a bit more to increase the pressure to the 2300 it should have. Just waiting for some copper washers to come now to put on these bolts. I know purists will not like it, but I'm trying to minimise water ingress. So all these bolt holes are through holes into the casting, through to the gearbox, and the same at the bottom. So copper washers is a great idea to try and keep the oil in and the water out. Then we can get round to putting the PTO shaft back in. That'll hold the pump in place there as well. Just need to, where was it? Here, just give that a quick clean up with some emery. That's ready to go back in. We'll wash the bearing out with some brake cleaner. It's been standing for a few weeks now. Probably find the audios all over the place because I've got the microphone in my hand and I'm swinging it everywhere. And yeah, get these bits all greased up, get them bagged up, get them boxed up, and if I ever have any problems with this, I'm going to put the old original ones back in, because the bits I believe at the pump body that I've used will probably far outlast the new bits, but I bought the new bits now, and it also highlighted all the problems with them. So clean the PTO shaft go back on there. They're blind holes, so I don't need to worry about doing anything with them, so we'll just copper grease them up. Rocker pin can go back in, then link arms can go back on, engine lift can go away, and we can start cleaning up. Be able to put the side covers back on as well. Need to clean them bolts there. Again, they're through bolts, but they are probably not going to give too many problems with water ingress. But in hindsight, I should have put copper washers for them too, really, shouldn't I? But yeah, I mean, we wouldn't lose a lot of oil if we change them at a later time, so it's no biggie there. Yeah, happier now, a lot happier now. It's going back together. We can get it out of the shed, we can get the seat on. So we had the seat powder coated at Alchemy Metal Finishing. Needs a wash, it's been outside, but very, very happy with that. I feel like a satiny, not mega gloss black, and they come through good. So yeah, hey, it's just nice to see it going back together, to be honest. Just nice to see it going back together. Yeah, I think we all know how to like slide a PTO shaft in and put some side covers on. So I'll put the bridge in on the fork and see where we go from there. Next job I'm going to do is put the PTO shaft in. So what I've done is I've cleaned up this area here, which runs on the bush in the pump. So I'm just going to clean that bearing out now with some brake cleaner, because it's been sitting in the shed for a bit. Give the shaft a clean and put the gasket on to that face there. But I need to clean that gasket off first, so I need to do that. Clean the crap off of here, and then we can put it back in. Let's get it done. Right, so we'll now put the PTO shaft in. So I have put some oil on here, because that's going to go into our new bush. Put some oil on the splines, put a bit of grease on there and the gasket on. Clean the bearing out. Bearing's not too bad, so that can go again. And then try and feed it all through. and it should hopefully go in. And what we might have to do is take the cap off, or just move the engine a little bit just to let it line up with the drive shaft, because at the moment it doesn't, and I'll probably lose my fingers. There we go, just like that. Don't know why there's no spring washers on these. There wasn't when they came out, so I have no idea why there weren't any, but there's not. Chase the hold out, put copper grease on the bolts, and hopefully it'll all do up. But what I might do is get some spring washers and just fire the bolts out, because they're blind holes. Then I won't lose any oil by just pulling the bolt out and putting a spring washer on. Yeah, like I say, I don't know why I've never had any from you, but or in the lifetime that I've had it. Hopefully the paper gasket will seal up again. Just depends if it's a same thickness as the original, I guess, to see how much gives in it. But we've cleaned the surfaces, so there's no reason why it shouldn't. Don't have to go mad with these. And we'll nip them up by hand to make sure they're tight. Because I've not actually yet done a torque measurement to see how tight they are when you tighten them up with a gun by itself. But they're not going anywhere. There we go. PTO shaft in. Next thing is to put the side plate on with the PTO lever. And then we can put the dipstick side back on. So we'll do that now. We've cleaned the PTO side casing up ready. And all we need to do when we do this is to make sure that the fork, which you can see there, that needs a bit of grease on it before it goes in, it goes into there. Yeah, ignore the copper grease, because that's all it is. So I'll get some grease on that now, and then we'll slide that in. And then we can hopefully check from the other side to make sure it's in. Got the side cover on now, and hopefully you can see in there that the PTO lever is engaged with the fork. I turn the engine over a little bit to make sure the PTO shaft engages as it should do with the dog clutch, and all is good and satisfactory. So all I need to do now is get some more copper washers for the bolts on here, because the original doesn't come with any, and then I can put them on and tighten it up. I don't know why, again, no washers are being used, but these were built and then painted over afterwards, so the paint did seal any dampness out and any oil in. Okay, so off camera we have put copper washers under the heads of these bolts. That is the fill plug from there for the gearbox. Put copper washers on the bolts for the pump, put new copper washers on here. We have flushed the gearbox out. What else have we done? That's about it really. We are now ready to put the new oil in. It's down there. Left these off for now in case there's any problems. Just one less thing to remove afterwards. I'm going to leave a quadrant about there. And then see what the lift and lower's like, because it should be 2.5 inches travel for it to start lowering. Yeah, we should be done. hopefully it'll work without any problems, and then we can like trim off the excess bits of gasket and stuff at a later date. Another job we need to do is put a pipe into the quick release, and then we just need to pump any oil out of them, just so that there's no contamination in that oil in the hydraulic system there. So what we've done is we've just closed the valve there now, so the oil will be contained in the top cover and then in the gearbox, and it won't go to the external surfaces.